In the last lesson, Marvin gave us quite a bit of great information regarding PPP. Here in this lesson, Marvin's going to demonstrate for us another form of PPP authentication called EAP.
We're going to take a look at another authentication method. Take a look at EAP, Extensible Authentication Protocol. We're going to go ahead and just look at a local EAP configuration. So take a look at our existing configuration on our devices. So currently showing a basic PPP on our interface. And currently do not have any usernames configured. Take a look at our router 5, the other end of our connection. And interface there as well. So just having a basic PPP example there. We're going to go ahead and add on the authentication. So EAP authentication being done on the interface itself. PPP authentication EAP. Now looking at our various EAP options we have here. EAP identity, being able to set alternate identity rather than using our host name. Local, doing it locally instead of off of a Radius server. Password, being able to set the EAP password to use. Now, EAP using a MD5 similar to the CHAP, so not actually sending that password in clear text, having information hashed and exchanged with the hash values. So we said we're going to do local EAP. We have the PPP authentication EAP command, PPP EAP local, PPP EAP, and we're going to go ahead and set a password. And we're going to go ahead and use the password of R5 on router 5. And we're going to switch over to router 4 and do similar items there. And we're going to go ahead and just shut down this interface. PPP authentication EAP, PPP EAP local, and PPP EAP password. And we're just going to go ahead and set up a password of R4 here. Now we're going to configure a global username as well, so that we have the credentials for router 5. Now router 5 by default sending the information through using the host name. So we'll say rec20r5 and a password of r5. And we're going to do the same thing on router 5, setting up a global password for router 4. So we have a password for router 4 on router 5, a password for router 5 on router 4. Let's switch back to router 4. And we'll go ahead and just bring that interface back up. Now we do have the PPP authentication EAP configured on both sides. So both sides are going to send out the challenge. And at the output here, we see we have initially a request identity, followed by a response, followed by a request on the MD5, and a response on the MD5. And again, having those paired off, O being outbound, I being inbound. So first off, an outbound request, ID 241, inbound request, ID 239, outbound response for that 239, and an inbound response for that 241. So having those items paired off there. And just as a comparison, we're going to go ahead and just remove from the one side. no PPP authentication EAP, but still have our other password information and local usernames configured. We're going to go ahead and shut down the interface. And take a look at the difference in the debugs. And now rather than seeing 2 requests, we just see 1 request. In this case, the 1 request we see is inbound, outbound response, inbound request, and having success in the authentication. So in both cases, we did have success in the authentication. Again, you can also do other connectivity tests, verify you can ping across. So take a look at the interface again. The PPP EAP password, PPP EAP local, then having that username configured globally, verify connectivity, able to ping the other side, and checking from the other side. On this side, still having the PPP authentication EAP, but again having the EAP local and the EAP password set, and then having a username for the other side, router 4. The globally configured username for the credentials. So EAP authentication, just another way that it can be done. In this case, looking at a basic example of the local EAP authentication.